Hello everybody and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. This is Season 4, Round 10. This is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. If you haven't seen the last episode, I urge you to go back and check that one out before coming back to check this one out. As per usual, this is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, Austria provided a bit of drama, didn't it? But we are now here at Silverstone, trying to get out of qualifying one once again. We had a podium in Austria, which was through a comeback from 13th on the grid, which is great, but we're going to go for a home win here. And the first part of that is ensuring safe passage through the first part of qualifying, which we have done. And Lando Norris topping the timesheets there. That's a huge surprise. And no surprises to see who goes out. As you can see, us pushing the car to its limit and, well, using all the circuit and just a little bit more to try and get through Q2. I believe that is a lap good enough to do so, and we were fastest quite comfortably over our teammate Charles Leclerc. That's a 1:23.9, which I'm quite impressed by. That's one of my fastest laps around here. But now it's the final part of qualifying. George Russell takes pole. Where are we in relation to George in the second sector? 3 1,000ths up. Oh, that's 3 1,000ths up on Lando Norris, I do apologise. So we are going to have to nail this last sector together, clipping the Stowe apexes brilliantly. I could not have done that any better. We now head into the final chicane. Bit of curbs on both corners, running a little bit on the other curb on the outside, but that should be fine. However, both Red Bulls are still a little bit quicker, so we've got to find that little pocket of time to get us ahead and get us that pole position. So already we're 300ths up at the first couple of corners, and on the braking spot there we've gained a couple of tenths. So the first sector alone we have found 3/10 of a second. Our personal best currently at 1:24.4. I want to try and get into the 23s again if I can. Purple first sector, perfectly clipping the inside apex. I didn't run out wide enough on the exit of Brooklands and Luffield. I think I could have clipped the apex better, but whatever. We are now at Woodcote heading into Copse. This is the sector that needs to be inch perfect, and you know what? I think that corner was, but now it's this sequence of corners. But again, inch perfect through there, inch perfect through there. I could not have done that any better. I nailed that sector. Green sector in sector 2, 8/10 up on our previous best. So to do better in Stowe's going to be a challenge, but you know what? We pretty much matched what we did there, and now it's the last couple of corners running out wide there. And we didn't use quite as much curb. Sector 3, not quite as good as what we originally did. Fantastic. But the lap overall is a 1:23.6, which is just about, by 2/10 of a second, enough for pole.
For lights out tomorrow. We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Let's talk about Joker. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Joker lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, and Sainz, Bottas, Ricciardo, Leclerc, and Lando Norris. Lundgaard, Vettel, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Schwartzman. Ocon, Stroll, Callum Eilert, and Guan Yu Zhou. Markelov, Mick Schumacher, Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head...
Right, time for our home race, starting on pole, 26 laps. What can we do here? It's lights out and away we go. I've not made a great start. Russell's got away brilliantly. I've covered off Max Verstappen, but down the inside of me has gone Pierre Gasly for P2 and Yuki Tsunoda right behind me in P4. So I'm in an AlphaTauri sandwich. The AlphaTauri second and fourth. That's a brilliant start by them. I am definitely, though, in the middle of what is a Red Bull sandwich, because we got Red Bull, AlphaTauri, me, AlphaTauri, Red Bull. The same backwards and forwards, but we're in P3 trying to keep up with Pierre Gasly. George Russell has got the lead and he's now going to try building it, so we want to get ahead of Pierre Gasly as soon as possible. I'm getting a little bit close around Woodcote there, but going into Copse, I don't think that's an overtaking move that can happen. And I got a little bit ambitious there, and you can see George Russell starting to stretch away now as we try and gain on Pierre Gasly for P2. Tsunoda still in my gearbox in P4, just reminding me that if I go a little bit wrong, he is going to be on my tail trying to take the podium place off me. And that is the last thing we need. So we need to try and stay closer to Gasly than Tsunoda is to us. But Tsunoda's now within half a second. And I think he's getting ready to have a look, which that won't help either. That's going to put Tsunoda a little bit closer to me. But we do have DRS, and Gasly isn't close enough to Russell to get DRS. So focusing on my first target first, which is the AlphaTauri in front of me. And we are going to have a splash of DRS for good measure. So that's going to help us out. Having a little look up the inside there. Nothing in doing there. So now we're going to have to tuck in and get ready for the first DRS zone of the lap. We are very close, but the torque Gasly has off the exit of the corner and the traction he has is going to make it very difficult to make a move here. So we're just going to have to tuck back in and wait to have a look at in the other DRS point. I'm going to try and have a look around the outside there. Had a little bit of extra momentum, but Gasly just covered me off. He took the racing line. There wasn't much more I could do without having a collision, so we just have to be patient here. But now going into Stowe, I'm closer. 0.3 of a second. Make that 2. We're going to have a little look up the inside. We're going to take the overtaking move. We've done that up into P2. Gasly trying to have a look on the exit. I'm going to cover him straight off. And now we are clear of the AlphaTauri. I'm going to try and catch George Russell if I can, but he is 3 seconds up the road from me, so it's going to be a little bit tricky, especially if I take that line into Copse. I mean, that line in particular is not the racing line. That's not how you take the corner. But we are now 3.3 seconds behind him, and is that Charles Leclerc pulling to a stop? I believe that might be our teammate. I'm not sure. I can't see that from that angle. But anyway, now we're going to have a look at Carlos Sainz, who I believe is trying to pass Yuki Tsunoda. Sainz getting the move done then. And there is a McLaren behind that is getting pretty interested. Is Tsunoda going to hold him back? Who knows? We've made our pit stop. So we are now pitting to take the medium tyres, which is going to go to the end of the race. This is my little attempt at undercutting Russell. But unfortunately for me, the two Williams are pretty close by. So the last thing I need is to get involved with them. Well, a little crossing of the pit line there, but got nothing for it. Right, Callum Eilert right in front of me. As George Russell is out of the pits, Leclerc is still in the race end, so it wasn't Leclerc that pulled out. I didn't really get to see who it was. We're now going to have a look up the inside of Callum Eilert and get ourselves straight onto the back of George Russell. So the undercut has worked to a degree because we're closer to Russell, but at the same time it hasn't got us past him. So that's our next target then in this Battle of the Brits here on home ground. It is a straight fight. Myself versus George Russell. 4 home honours here. Sebastian Vettel in front of us hasn't pitted, and we're going to have a little look up the inside of Abbey there, but that was never going to come to anything. Russell completely covering that one as I set the fastest lap of the race. Giovinazzi as well, also electing to pit. in the Alpine. And now we're on to the Hangar Straight. This is where most of the other... well, my one overtake in this race has been done. If you exclude Callum Ilott, because, well, A, he was a much slower car on much older tyres. And B, it was an inevitable move. Anyway, bad commentary aside, we're now right up the back of George Russell. We're really piling some pressure on him here at the end of lap 13. We are halfway through.
Keep this up.
And look how close this is. Look how close this is. Is there a cheeky look up the inside on here? I think there is. Down the inside. Can we make it stick? I think we have. We are now into the lead of the British Grand Prix. And, well, that move was just a little bit too easy, really. We had to dive up the inside, and George didn't really fight me too hard. So I am now in the lead, but Russell is now 8 tenths behind me and within that DRS. So George could still attack me. And, in fact, he's much closer this time round now. George right up my rear there. He's going to have a look up the inside of turn 1. I've given him space, and George has just absolutely sent it. What a move down the inside. But now I'm up the inside here at turn number 2 or 3, I think it is. And we have gone up the inside, taken the lead back. But now George has DRS. So is he going to get back past me? No, not right now. I seem to have him covered. This is a great scrap though. George not giving up just yet as I go a little bit wide into Stowe. Is George going to have a little look in Abbey? No, he doesn't. Right. Back down the old back straight. Here we go. Myself and Russell. Russell within a couple of attempts. He's going to have a look up the inside. Is he going to get the move done? He's still alongside me. We're side by side, but I just about have the momentum to carry it, and we just about keep ahead of George Russell here. I'm having to use overtake to push myself in front. And here we go then down the Hangar Straight. Russell much closer this time. I'm keeping the inside line though. He is not having that inside line. He is going to have to go the long way round if he's going to do it. And you know what? He's trying to go the long way round. He's still alongside me here. Is he going for it? No, he backs out. And I've gone a little bit deep myself. I've gone a little bit sideways as well, getting squirrely out of the corner. That's going to allow Russell a look, isn't it? He's going to have a look up the inside, but he's not going to try and send it this time up the inside of 1. We've got him covered. Russell still there as I keep the inside covered. But I've gone a little bit deep. Russell might have a better line as I've got in tight again. Meanwhile, whoa! That's a shunt there for Yuki Tsunoda going into the slowing Aston Martin. What's happened here? It looks like the Alpine, there's a slow Alpine. I was focused on the wrong run there. That's Giovinazzi slowing down. And it looks like the Aston Martin goes into him and Tsunoda piles into the Aston Martin. Lads, what was that? Also, there's another car out. That's a Mercedes. I believe that to be... I want to say it's Lundgaard. I'm not entirely sure. The safety car is out then. And it's now come back in. And we've got 3 laps of sprint racing to the finish. And my teammate Charles Leclerc up into 4th. Norris in 5th. Carlos Sainz for Ferrari doing a stunning job in 3rd. And I'm now trying to hold George Russell back. But that is not the way to do it. But we've built up about half a second of a gap. And in fact, George Russell, in the end, just not challenging us at all. We were able to pull out that little bit of a gap that we needed. But still, it was quite a hard-fought race, I'm not going to lie. It was a bit challenging to keep my position at points. But as soon as the safety car came out, and as soon as we got a good restart, Russell was never really any bother to me. And we were just able to keep the gap just above DRS range, which is exactly what we needed. Sainz looks like he's going to hold on to 3rd for Ferrari. But for us, it is going to be home glory at the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. We round the last couple of corners. We've just got this little right-hander to go. And we have won it! Get in!
Yes, yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys! Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. Let's see.
Well, other than that start, when we dropped to third, we did not put a foot wrong. We got past Gasly as quickly as possible, and that allowed me onto the back of Russell, including a pit stop, to gain the undercut, which is what we did. And as a result, that is a home win. Sainz gets third, Leclerc gets fourth, so it's good for the Joe H2O Racing team. Norris rounding out the top 5 with Ricciardo and Gasly dropping down to 7th. Bottas in 8th, so it was Lundgaard that went out, and Verstappen and Vettel rounding out the top 10. And it's not too bad of a show from Williams either in 13th and 14th. That's actually quite a decent result for them. And as well as that, we got the fastest lap as well, so taking the full 26 points, which is crucial. And, well, our championship lead is going to really have been built up after that. As you are about to see here, we are now 87 points clear, so I don't know what I'm talking about when I say the 26 point is crucial. It's really not, and I think the main battle right now in the standings is for second between Leclerc and Russell, so that seems to be the main fight. Gasly is ahead of Verstappen, then it's Tsunoda in 6th, Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris and Bottas rounding out the top 10 in the championship, and Lundgaard dropping out of the top 10 after a difficult race. And in the Constructors' Championship, well, we are just miles clear of Red Bull. But AlphaTauri are just starting to sniff at that second place a little bit there. And I just wonder if they've got eyes on it. But they definitely seem safe in third. McLaren are fourth, then it's Mercedes and Ferrari. 6th and 7th with 5th and 6th with Aston Martin just lurking in the background there. And this is a replay of my move on Gasly. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. I've been Joe, TTFN guys. Ta-ta for now.